I'm Tashron Tyson, in with your viewer and media news package for today, Thursday, 29th August 2019. In our lead stories, nationally, British American policyholders group Balco to hold town hall meeting, and no date yet for Culturama prize giving ceremony. Regionally, Hurricane Dorian crazes Puerto Rico. Internationally, Kirsten Gillibrand ends her candidacy for U.S. 2020 presidential nomination. And in sports, American sprinter to focus on breaking Bolt's 200-meter world record. We'll have the details of these and other stories after this message.
Another look.
Different from how you've seen it before.
Another look.
Takes an in-depth look into business, politics, science, technology, religion, and more.
Another look.
Featuring documentaries from the BBC, regional features, and local ones too.
Another look.
Every Monday at 3 p.m. on the Eastern Caribbean's powerhouse, Vaughan.
Welcome back. Another national news in detail. A release from British American and Clico Insurance Company policyholders group Balco states that a team comprising professionals in the legal fraternity will be holding a town hall meeting on Friday, September 6th at 5 p.m. at the Ocean Terrace Inn, OTI, to inform policyholders of their rights within community law and to offer guidance on the time frame for submission of the legal case to the Caribbean Court of Justice, CCJ. Balco was formed in Grenada in 2013 with the main objective of recovering of policyholders' investments from the failed British American and Clico Insurance Company, their subsidiaries and affiliates. After its formation, Balco was extended to include membership from St. Kitts and Nevis, as well as Antigua and Barbuda, Dominica, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, in addition to the original membership of Grenada. Balco has retained a competent team which includes eminent Queen's Counsel Mr. Simon Davenport and Senior Counsel Dr. Kenny Anthony, as well as Junior Counsels Mr. Robert Strang and Mr. Raphael Adogia and experienced retired Trade Ambassador Mr. Gerald Thompson. It is Balco's hope that the meeting will lead to policyholders from St. Kitts and Nevis joining with approximately 1,000 other policyholders in approaching the CCJ pursuant to their rights within the revised Treaty of Chaguaramas. All Balco members, as well as policyholders who may not now be members of Balco, but would wish to join its litigation, are invited to attend this important meeting. Individuals who participated in the various Culturama 45 pageants and contests have not yet received their prizes. The Culturama 45 closing and prize giving ceremony, which was scheduled for Saturday 24th August, was postponed. Chairman of Culturama 45 Committee, Mr. Antonio Abernathy-Liburd, speaking to the VON Newsline on August 29, 2019, explained why the ceremony was postponed.
We are preparing right now for it. I do not have a definite date when we will be having it, but what I can say is that we are soliciting the gift items and we are rounding up our sponsors to get the funds, the sponsorship funds, so we are working on that. And as soon as we would have gathered all of the necessary funding from the sponsors, we will announce a date for prize giving.
Mr. Liburd said that due to sponsors not meeting their commitment, the Secretariat would have to make alternative plans to accommodate contestants.
What we have had to do is to use our monies to sponsor the contestants because some of the sponsors have not lived up to their promise of giving us the funding for the sponsorship of the various events, and so we have had to use the Culturama monies.
Mr. Antonio Abernathy-Liburd. Culturama 45 was held under the theme Love, Passion, Pride, Culturama 45. Farmers here on Nevis are being encouraged to make the necessary preparation as it relates to crops as we move further into the 2019 Atlantic hurricane season. Director of Agriculture, Mr. Randy Elliott, in speaking to the VON Newsline, stressed the importance of putting precautionary measures in place.
prior to the season, we would have asked farmers to ensure that we have root crops and those sort of things, and crops that are of long storage planted, so at least in the event of anything that we're able to feed our people. So we just continue to ask the public, we continue to ask our farmers to adhere to the advice from the Department of Agriculture as we continue to ensure food security for the island.
Mr. Randy Elliott. Mr. Elliott also noted that as at September 1st, the department will be offering fertilizers at a reduced cost to farmers and the general public as a stimulus for the upcoming planting season. Meanwhile, the Agriculture Department continues efforts to ensure food security on the island and has a number of planned activities to ensure it maintains this mandate.
We have Pesticide Week that will be coming up later in September, and the World Food Day that will be coming up in October. We also want the general public to be aware that the farmers market that will be in the third week in September, the third Friday of September. So we're asking the general public to come out and continue to support the efforts of our farmers.
Mr. Randy Elliott. Dr. Kelvin Daly is the new Nevis Reformation Party NRP candidate for Nevis 9 in the upcoming federal elections. Dr. Daly was elected to the position of first Vice President of Nevis Reformation Party at the party's convention in October of last year. Prior to entering politics, he served the Nevis Island administration as Director of Agriculture and Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture. With regards to the next federal elections, which is constitutionally due by 2020, Mr. Daly is expected to run against the representative for Nevis 9, Premier of Nevis, and the leader of Concerned Citizens Movement, CCM, the Honorable Mark Brantley. Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Culture, the Honorable Sean Richards, has extended condolences to the family of Kenrick Georges on behalf of the Department of Culture in St. Kitts. Mr. Georges passed away on Monday, August 26th. In commenting on the untimely passing of Mr. Georges, Minister Richards made a statement which reads in part, and I quote, "Kenrick Georges' passing is a deep loss for the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, who all owe him an invaluable debt of gratitude for our famous national anthem, which he would have penned in 1983 in celebration of our country's attainment of independence," end quote. The Department of Culture also acknowledges with respect to the body of work that Mr. Georges would have contributed to the field of music throughout his career. Mr. Georges' passing occurred about 24 days before the Federation's 36th anniversary of independence. Meantime, the Embassy of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela has conveyed condolences on the passing of Kenrick Anderson Georges, the author and music composer of St. Kitts and Nevis' national anthem, O Land of Beauty. Based on a communique from the embassy dated August 28, 2019, and signed by Marco Antonio Guzman Adrian, Minister Counselor Chargé d'Affaires ad hoc, stated, and I quote, "The Embassy of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela presents its compliments to the Honorable Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Aviation of the Federation of St. Christopher and Nevis, and on my behalf, we take this opportunity to transmit our deepest condolences to the family and relatives of Mr. Kenrick Anderson Georges, and also to the people of the Federation of St. Christopher and Nevis on the passing of the beloved son of the soil, the late Kenrick Anderson Georges, author of O Land of Beauty, the Federation's national anthem." And finally, the St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party, SKNLP, says it will reintroduce a number of programs which improve the learning capabilities of St. Kitts and Nevis students, which will assist them in pursuing university degrees. SKNLP's political leader, Dr. Denzil Douglas, said that the Labour Party will, on assuming office following the upcoming general elections, reinstate the REACH and one-to-one laptop programs. Dr. Douglas added that students will be able to use the technology in class to learn 21st century skills in problem solving, critical thinking and teamwork, and that teachers will be able to move away from the chalk and talk and become more interactive with students using audio-video technology. Students in high schools in St. Kitts and Nevis were provided laptops under the program. Under the Recognizing Everyone's Ability to Climb Higher REACH program, every high school student enrolling in the Clarence Fitzroy Bryant College, CFBC, the Nevis Sixth Form College, or Advanced Vocational Education Center, AVEC, were provided with a basic yearly academic allowance in the amount of EC $2,500. The Labour Party also plans to bring back the Student Loan Guarantee Fund that allowed the federal government to act as a second guarantor for students seeking loans to pursue higher education. That's the national news segment. You can visit our website at www.vonradio.com or check us out on Facebook at Von Radio or our Von Radio YouTube channel for these and other stories. News from across the region is next.
Ladies and gentlemen, this here's another one for the steppers.
Swipe to win big in 2019. That's right, the Bank of Nevis Limited is once again giving you, our valued customers, a chance to win big. Just swipe or use your Bond Visa credit card for US $100 for a chance to win a cruise for two, an iPhone XS, or a grocery dash at Best Buy supermarket.
Say what?
Sign up for a Bond Visa credit card and automatically be entered for a chance to win. This offer ends August 31st, 2019. So tell your friends and family to swipe to win big with the Bank of Nevis. The Bank of Nevis Limited, improving the quality of life. Like us on Facebook or follow us on Instagram.
Welcome back. Another regional news in detail. The eye of Dorian, a Category 1 hurricane, has missed the main island of Puerto Rico. The U.S. territory's smaller islands, Vieques and Colura, were battered by heavy rain and high winds. Dorian is considerably less powerful than the hurricanes that hit Puerto Rico 2 years ago. It is expected to gather strength in the coming days and is on course to reach the U.S. states of Florida or Georgia by the weekend. Florida declared a state of emergency on Wednesday. Governor Ron DeSantis said it was important for Floridians on the East Coast to monitor this storm closely. However, experts say it is too early to say exactly where or when it could arrive. Dennis Falcon, a National Hurricane Center meteorologist in Miami, told news agency AP that the large storm could land anywhere from South Florida to South Carolina. The storm's first victim was reportedly an 80-year-old man who police said died after falling off a ladder as he tried to prepare for the hurricane in San Juan. Schools in Puerto Rico are closed while Governor Wanda Vazquez-Garced has enacted a law banning the sale of alcohol for at least the next 24 hours, according to CNN. The storm is projected to reach the U.S. on Sunday or Monday. Out of the Dominican Republic. A 17-year-old Argentine girl died on the last day of a family trip in that country after she stepped on a naked wire while walking barefoot at a beach, the Sun reported last Wednesday. Melina Caputing was walking back to a hotel in Punta Cana with her brothers and cousins when she allegedly stepped on a bare wire as she walked up a flight of stairs to cross a bridge. The teenager, who had been studying natural sciences at a school in Argentine city of San Juan, was immediately electrocuted and died despite efforts from paramedics to save her. In the days before her death, Caputo had purportedly posted a chilling message on Instagram saying, "I am saying goodbye," the Sun notes. Preliminary investigations revealed that the 17-year-old died from cardiorespiratory failure, although an autopsy has yet to confirm those findings according to the newspaper. Globalia, the owner of the Believe Hotel, where Caputo's family stayed, has also supposedly denied that there were any live wires on the premises. Following the teenager's passing, her family and friends took to social media to remember her. Caputo's death comes as the Dominican Republic has been rocked with a series of mysterious deaths and controversial incidents involving other tourists. According to AOL.com, since last year, at least 10 Americans have died under suspicious circumstances, many of which have involved the consumption of alcohol or the use of hotel amenities. Out of the U.S. Virgin Islands. First responders and emergency management teams are still assessing damage in St. John, caused by maximum sustained winds of 82 miles per hour and 111 miles per hour gusts from Hurricane Dorian. The VI police investigators are trying to determine how an elder woman in St. John died during the storm. Authorities cannot say for sure if her death was storm-related, said Daryl Jackson, director of the Virgin Islands Emergency Management Agency, VITEMA. Her name has not been released. The VI consortium said heavy rains and sporadic power outages marked much of the day in St. Croix, but it was spared the worst. The Department of Public Works cleared the roads between Christiansted and Frederiksted by late evening. Governor Albert Bryan Jr. said the bulk of local and federal first responders were staged in St. Croix. Government employees in St. Thomas were expected to report to work at 10 a.m. Out of the British Virgin Islands. The hurricane warning on the British Virgin Islands has been lifted. Governor Augustus Jaspert officially lifted the warning at 8 p.m. on Wednesday, August 28th. Works have now started to restore water and power to the territory. Meantime, Premier Andrew Foy has said there is no reported loss of life or significant property damage as a result of Hurricane Dorian that passed the territory Wednesday, August 28th. According to BVInews.com, in an address following the disaster passing the territory, Premier Foy also said that there were no serious injuries, crimes, or problems in relation to businesses being compromised. Mr. Foy said the islands experienced some major flooding on the outskirts of Road Town with some damage to buildings reported and debris on some roads in those areas. Still in the BVI. A thick blanket of sargassum seaweed is currently resting along the shore of Anegada. The seaweed washed up during Hurricane Dorian. Representative of the 9th District, where Anegada is located, Vincent Wheatley, told BVI News that the sargassum is on the western side of the island. A decision is yet to be made on how the seaweed will be cleared. Sargassum, a brown foul-smelling seaweed, is a marine alga that originates from the Sargasso Sea, which is a region in the gyre of the North Atlantic Ocean. And finally, out of Guyana. The house-to-house registration exercise that began on July 20th and was supposed to last 3 months as electoral officials compiled a new voters list ahead of mandated polls has been cut short. Chair of the Guyana Elections Commission, GCOM, retired Justice Claudette Singh, announced on Tuesday that it would come to an end on August 31st, almost 2 months early. She said the data gathered up to that point will be merged with the existing National Register of Registrants database to produce a credible official list of electors, OLE. GCOM added that it will move to an extensive claims and objectives exercise before extracting the preliminary list of electors, PLE. Her decision came on the heels of an August 14th decision by Acting Chief Justice Roxanne George Wilshire that while the exercise was neither unlawful nor unconstitutional, it was not necessary to validate the register of electors, and GCOM should consider other options, including a period of claims and objections. GCOM had been insisting on the registration exercise before regional and general elections, due following the December 28 passage of a no-confidence vote against the coalition government, are held. That's it for Original Stories. Stay with us for news from around the world. Welcome back. Another international news in detail. Democratic Senator Kirsten Gillibrand has ended her candidacy for the 2020 Democratic presidential nomination. Mrs. Gillibrand announced her decision to withdraw in an online video after failing to qualify for a third Democratic debate next month. After more than 8 incredible months, I am ending my presidential campaign, she said. The 52-year-old has been a vocal advocate for women's rights, but her campaign failed to gain traction. Mrs. Gillibrand was appointed to her seat in the U.S. Senate in 2009 when Hillary Clinton accepted the role of U.S. Secretary of State under former President Barack Obama. Since then, she has won her re-election bids easily and remains popular in New York. She had one of the largest financial pools to draw from of all the 2020 candidates, with around $10 million in her campaign coffers following her re-election last year. She has been an outspoken supporter for the hashtag #MeToo movement, as well as advocating for victims of sexual assault on college campuses and in the military. Measles has returned to 4 European nations previously seen as free of the illness, according to the World Health Organization (WHO). The disease is no longer considered eradicated in Albania, the Czech Republic, Greece, and the UK. We are backsliding. We are on the wrong track, said Kate O'Brien of the WHO's Immunization Department. Measles is a highly contagious and potentially fatal illness that causes coughing, rashes, and fever. The disease can be prevented through 2 doses of the MMR vaccine, which is available for free for all young children in the UK. Countries are declared measles free when there is no endemic transmission for 12 months in a specific geographic area. Mrs. O'Brien said all 4 European nations that have lost their eradication status have extremely high vaccination coverage. Health experts warn that lies about the measles vaccine have allowed the illness to spread in certain areas of communities. All regions of the world showed an increase in measles bar the Americas, which saw a minor decline, although the U.S. registered its highest number of cases in 25 years. Brazil has banned setting fires to clear land for 60 days in response to a massive increase in the number of fires in the Amazon rainforest. The decree was signed by President Jair Bolsonaro, who has faced intense criticism at home and abroad for failing to protect the rainforest. A leading Brazilian environmentalist warned on Wednesday that the worst of the fire is yet to come. South American countries will meet next week to discuss the crisis. It remains unclear what impact the ban will have, as environmentalists say the overwhelming majority of forest clearance in the Brazilian Amazon is already illegal and enforcement is lax. The Amazon has seen more than 80,000 fires break out so far this year, a 77% rise on the same period in 2018. And finally, caretaker Prime Minister Giuseppe Conte has accepted a mandate to form a new coalition with a vow to lead a more united, inclusive Italy, a week after the collapse of his government dominated by nationalists. He said Italy should play a leading role in Europe, a marked change for the policies of the right-wing League. League leader Matteo Salvini triggered the downfall of the previous coalition. More in this BBC report.
Last week, Prime Minister Conte said he was resigning following the collapse of the previous coalition between Five Star and the far-right League Party. He now looks set to come back at the head of a different administration between 2 parties with a history of rivalry. Mr. Conte set out his priorities. These include making Italy's economy more competitive, combating corruption and promoting environmental sustainability. The administration's tone on Europe will shift too, especially with Matteo Salvini's Nationalist League heading into opposition. Mr. Conte's vision has Italy at the heart of an integrated Europe.
That brings us to the end of our news segments. The latest in sports is next.
Every summer has
has a story. Create yours when you pick your summer loan from TDC Financial Services. Pick up to $25,000 unsecured. Pick your rate, pick your due date, pick your prices. Whether it be TDC gift cards, OTI vouchers, or back-to-school vouchers, and more. Pick what you spent $25,000 on and create your summer story when you pick your summer loan from TDC Financial Services, where money is made easy.
Welcome back. Another sports in detail. In athletics, American sprinter 22-year-old Noah Lyles will focus on the 200 meters at next month's World Athletics Championships as he aims to break Usain Bolt's record. Bolt, who retired in 2017, holds the world records in the 100 meters, 9.58 seconds, and the 200 meters, 19.9 seconds, set in Berlin in 2009. I have a strong chance of winning, and I also have a strong chance of trying to break some records, Lyles said. The World Athletics Championships in Doha begins on September 27th. In more athletics, Audrey Odeberon qualified for the World Athletics Championships in Doha with a surprise win in the men's 100 meters at the British Championships in Birmingham. Dina Asher-Smith defended her women's 100-meter title in a record time to book a place in the Great Britain team. Odeberon edged Adam Gimling and Zanel Hughes, with all three finishing in 10.18 seconds at the Alexander Stadium. The British Championships double up as trials for the World Championships, which begin on Friday, September 27th. Odeberon, 23, said he was very, very happy after claiming the victory by 1,000th of a second on Saturday. In cricket, former West Indies fast bowler Tony Gray has slammed the exclusion of off-spinning all-rounder Rakeem Cornwall from the opening test in Antigua and believes the subsequent lack of another impact bowler was one of the reasons behind the home side's heavy defeat last Sunday. West Indies left out Cornwall from the final 11 and included seamer Miguel Cummins after fast bowling all-rounder Keema Paul was ruled out with injury. However, Cummins proved woefully ineffective, sending down 20 overs in the match without taking a wicket, as West Indies slipped to a crushing 318-run defeat inside 4 days. Gray, who played 5 tests and 25 one-dayers for West Indies between 1986 and 1991, said Cornwall offered a great alternative, especially with his height and past success against batsmen from the subcontinent. In more cricket, Anisa Mohammed has been included in the 13-member West Indies women's squad selected by Cricket West Indies CWI interim selection panel to play the 3-match Colonial Medical Insurance One-Day International ODI series against Australia starting on September 5th in Antigua. Anisa last played international cricket for the West Indies in the Way tour against Pakistan in February. The squad reads Stephanie Taylor, captain; Hayley Matthews, vice captain; Renice Boyce, Affie Fletcher, Chanel Henry, Shamelia Connell, Stacey Ann King, Natasha McLean, Kissia Knight, Kishona Knight, Anisa Mohammed, Karishma Ramahak, and Shabika Jaznabi. And that's it for sports. The General Weather Report is next. Welcome back, and now the local weather forecast for St. Kitts and Nevis. There will be mostly fair skies tonight. There will be partly sunny skies in general tomorrow, with a 20% or slight chance of brief morning showers. Winds are east at 11 to 22 kilometers per hour, or 6 to 12 knots, becoming variable or calm overnight. Seas are 1 to 1.5 meters, or approximately 3 to 5 feet. Sunrise tomorrow will be at 5:57 a.m. And that's how we wrap up the major news package for today, Thursday, 29th August 2019. Before we go, let's take a look at the headlines once again. Nationally, British American Policyholders Group bar call to hold town hall meeting. And no date yet for Culturama prize giving ceremony. Regionally, Hurricane Dorian grazes Puerto Rico. Internationally, Kirsten Gillibrand ends her candidacy for U.S. 2020 presidential nomination. And in sports, American sprinter to focus on breaking Bolt's 200-meter world record. On behalf of the rest of the news team, I am Tashan Tyson, wishing you a pleasant evening.